Next story that I want to talk about because I just think it's funny. uh, so this is by BuzzFeed. This woman just found out that her husband has been purposely tightening all of her jar lids for the last 5 years. Now she's divorcing him for gaslighting her. um, I guess there is no more equality. um, I guess this is a no bueno in this situation. So this has to be the most unique relationship story I've ever come across. So this is in the "Am I the A-hole" Reddit thread, which I checked because I wanted to see the original story. It's got deleted. So a user, direction proper 9461, is questioning her recent decision to file for divorce from her husband, who repeatedly tightened all the jar lids in their kitchen to the point that she could never open anything. So here's the full story. His over tightening jar lids have been an issue since he was just visiting at my house when we first started dating. First, it started with just things he used, and then over time it became every damn glass jar with metal lids. He tightened them so much I couldn't open them without assistance. But feminism. I mean, come on. I mean, women can do everything men can do. They can't open jars? Come on. What? That's ridiculous. It's been a reoccurring cycle over the past 5 years. It's just a thing that would escalate until I had a major meltdown and freaked out, screaming, frustrated, and seemingly crazy because it's just a lid. Then it would get better for a while, and then it would slowly become an issue again. And it was just getting worse and worse until I reached a breaking point. Again, sometimes I literally feel insane for being so upset over jar lids. I mean, maybe maybe he's just super strong and he doesn't know it. Like, not his fault. He's strong. He initially claimed that he did it to keep the food fresh. After many arguments about it, I insisted that I don't believe it keeps anything fresh, and even if it does make things last longer, I don't care if it means I can't eat my freaking food when I want. I'll just replace things that go bad because they're closed normally. Then the excuse was it's a habit. So about a month ago, my husband had a family emergency and had to travel out of state for 10 days. The first day he's gone, I discover a jar I can't open. I was annoyed. I was going to the store to buy new pickles when the neighbor said hi, and I let him know if he needed anything while I was out of town. I said, wait here, and I got the jar, which he opened. The next day I saw him outside and asked him to open another jar. He offered to come open all the jars. I agreed, and he came and he went to the fridge and opened all the jars except two, which he couldn't open. I thanked him profusely and told him I'd bake some of his favorite cookies later. He laughed and said it was no big deal, and after confirming that I wouldn't be upset if the remaining two jars were destroyed in his attempt to open them, he took them home to his garage and opened them one way or another. He said that he's heard me screaming about over-tightened jars. Man, she must have been really screaming over the years, and he's really pondered if I was crazy or if my husband was really over-tightening the jars. He said, this was intentional. It was every jar. And I'm sure he doesn't regularly use hot pepper paste or mango puree or any of your other fancy cooking stuff. So maybe the husband was being a jerk. Then he held up the two jars he couldn't open and said, I don't know why he's doing it, but it was an accident. After he left, I locked the door and sat on the kitchen floor and cried. Then I felt hot and lightheaded. I vomited in the trash can. My chest hurt, and it crossed me that I might be having a heart attack. I thought about calling an ambulance, but sat back on my kitchen floor instead. Man, this is way longer than I thought it'd be. Later, the neighbor came back with the open jar and hot fudge and apologized that he couldn't save the figs. He said he broke the jar trying to get it open. He apologized for what he said about my husband doing it on purpose. I assured him it was okay. So then she goes on to say there are literally no other issues, no cheating, no abuse. We had good sex, both have good jobs, nice house, no financial issues. He was absolutely blindsided when he came home and told him I wanted a divorce. He still won't admit he was doing it on purpose. Maybe he just wasn't, or maybe he just does have like a jar tightening problem where he just cannot help but tighten jars, and it's this weird habit. I don't know. I do not think this warrants divorce. I think she probably should have, went to therapy or something to try to work it out with him. Or she could work on her grip strength and, try to get on par to where he's at. Or maybe I don't know, maybe there's like a jar opening machine. I don't think this should have ended in divorce, though. I think that's a little ridiculous. So, yeah, that's a real interesting story.